Welcome to the Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union. We are live from the campus of Lakeview High School from the Ben Norton Gymnasium. Hello and good afternoon, my friends. I'm Herman Howard, and we are proud to bring to you tonight, it's the Lakeview Maidens in their final game of the regular season as they'll take on the Snyder Lady Tigers. As for the Maidens of Lakeview, they have an overall record of 8-14 on the season, 0-9 in district play. As for the Snyder Lady Tigers, they come into San Angelo today with a mark of 13-12 on the year and 5-4 in district play. As for the Maidens, led by head coach Tracy Dawson, they have lost 11 consecutive games in a row. And for the Maidens, they desperately need a win to end their regular season. They started the season, however, with a mark of 7-4, but they have struggled here at the Ben Norton Gymnasium this season. Only a record of 2-11 here at home. Meanwhile, for the Lady Tigers of Snyder, they are 5-2 in their last 7 games as they defeated Sweetwater 55-37 on Tuesday on the road. And on the road this season, they have a mark of 5-7. And this is a team, talking about Snyder, they started the season 1-5, so they're able to climb past that early season mark and now have a plus 500 record on the year. While for the Maidens, they started the season on the opposite note. They started very well with a record of 7-4, but they just struggled ever since. And they lost on Tuesday to Lubbock Estacado by a count of 66-36. As for Lakeview, they're led by head coach Tracy Dawson, and for the Snyder Lady Tigers, directed by Talia Eck. As for Lakeview, one of the bright spots on this season has been the play of senior Elisa Cappuccino, who scored a season high of 26 points in the January the 15th contest against Lubbock Estacado, as Michaela Wagner also poured 10 points in that same game for Lakeview. As for the Maidens, as we said earlier, they have lost 11 straight. Their last win was back on December 18th in a 47-26 win at home against Sonora. And as a team, for the Maidens, they have averaged 34 points per game and have allowed on 42 on the defensive side. The most points they have allowed in a game this season was 70 in their 54-point loss at Levelland back on January the 12th with that 70-16 final score. And the most points they scored in the game was 47 in that 47-26 victory at home against Sonora. As these two teams played back on January the 19th, as Lakeview lost by a count of 57-33. As we have a moment, let's give you tonight's starting lineups. First for the Lakeview Chiefs, as once again, Lakeview Maidens, thinking about the boys basketball team, as the Maidens, they are 0-9 in district play and 8-14 overall in this season. As for the Maidens, they will go with their all-senior lineup since it is seniors night tonight here at the Ben Norton Gymnasium, as they'll have a lineup of starting guard is Elisa Cappuccino, number 23. Number 24 is Alea Pinata. Number 25 is Michaela Wagner. Number 33 is Felicity Harris. And number 11 is Nellie Woodruff, who was called up from the JV squad. So for Lakeview, they'll have a lineup of Cappuccino, Pinata, Wagner, Harris, and Woodruff. Meanwhile, for the Snyder Lady Tigers, once again with a 5-4 district record and a 13-12 mark overall in the season, they'll have a lineup of Aaliyah Brazil, as she's a freshman, number 5. Number 13 is a senior, Melanie Martinez. Number 22 is a senior, Kamaya Davis. Number 23 is a junior, Abby Benitez. And number 32 is senior, Haley Humphrey. So for Snyder, they'll have a lineup of Brazil, Martinez, Davis, Benitez, and Humphrey in tonight's game. While we have a moment, let's give you tonight's District 3-4A standings entering today's game, as Levelland with a perfect 9-0 record with a 22-0 overall in the season. As Lubbock Estacado, they are in second place with a record of 7-2 in the district, 12-11 on the season. As Snyder, they are in third place with that 5-4 record. As Big Spring and Sweetwater, they are tied for fourth, each with identical 3-6 records. And for Lakeview, they are in last place with this 0-9 record. So for the Maidens, a great win for them to win here in their final game of the regular season. Tonight's other games in the district tonight, as Big Spring is at Sweetwater and Estacado travels to Levelland. Talking about Snyder and their regular season so far, in their 55-37 road win against Sweetwater on Tuesday, they shot 46% from the field, 50% from long distance, and 42% from the free throw line to improve to 5-4 in district play. And also in that contest, they had 33 rebounds and 11 assists. As for the Lady Tigers, the most points they have scored in the game this season was 63 in a 6-point win against Lubbock Estacado, 63-57 back on January the 26th. And the most points they have allowed, meanwhile, was 73 at a 52-point loss to Shallow Water back on November the 21st in a 73-21 loss. As for the Lady Tigers, they are 5-2 in their last 7 games and started the season 1-5. So for Lakeview, 0-9 on the season, looking for a win in district play to wrap up their regular season. As for the Snyder Lady Tigers, they are 5-4 in third place in the District 3-4A standings as we enter tonight's action. As tonight is also seniors night here at the Ben Norton Gymnasium. Lakeview at home, they have struggled with a mark of 2-11 here at home this season. As for Lakeview in their final game of the year, looking to get off the schneid here as they are searching for their first win in the calendar year of 2021. As we are now at the part of the introductions of the starting players, the seniors and the starting players here at the Ben Norton Gymnasium. So while we have a moment, we'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
Number 23, Alicia Cappuccino. Number 24, Analia Pineda. Number 25, Michaela Wagner. Number 33, Felicity Harris. Your Maidens are coached by Tracy Dawson, Peggy Eubanks, and Leandra Reed. If you will please rise and join us in the singing of the national anthem.
Football fans, stop by Wingstop in Southwest Plaza before or after the game. We have the best wings in town and offer curbside pickup and delivery. So stop by Friday night and celebrate with Wingstop on Knickerbocker Road.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo Oro Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
We all want to get back to the way things used to be. Going to concerts, cheering for our teams in a packed stadium, dancing the night away with our friends. But if we truly want things to go back to the way they were, we need everyone to come together. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and social distance. Together, we can beat this. Together, we'll get back to the way things used to be.
Welcome back to Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union. I'm Dr. Herman Howard, and it's a great pleasure to be back here tonight on the campus of Lakeview High School from the Ben Norton Gymnasium. And we also have Shay Harris as our director and producer of tonight's broadcast. So both teams are now on the basketball court. Quickly for Lakeview, the starting lineup is Cappuccina, Pinata, Wagner, Harris, and Woodruff. As for Snyder, Brazil, Martinez, Davis, Benitez, and Humphrey. As for Lakeview, they are dressed in their home white jerseys, and for Snyder, they are dressed in the road black jerseys here tonight on the final home game and the final regular season game for the Maidens. So the opening tip is won and controlled by Snyder, as we'll play the first 8 minutes of this first quarter, as Snyder with a 5-4 mark on the season. Here's Martinez from the corner. As for Lakeview, with a 2-3 zone defense to begin things here tonight. Humphrey up top. Here's an open jump shot from Benitez, and the offensive rebound by Snyder. And our first whistle of the game, and it's possession to Lakeview for the Maidens. And for the Maidens on offense, this is a team, they have struggled. They have only averaged 34 points per game this season. As for the Snyder defense, they have allowed 46.8. Now into the front court for Lakeview. Off to the right sideline is Pinata. As Pinata goes out of play, it's a turnover for the Chiefs, and that has been one of their struggles this season, has been the turnovers on offense. No score, 7-14 and counting in this opening quarter play from the Ben Norton Gymnasium. As for the Maidens, with a 2-3 zone defense, and traveling is called on the Snyders on Abby Benitez with the traveling call. And a turnover for Snyder, and Lakeview with the basketball. Gives it to Cappuccino, the best player of the Maidens team. Actually, for the last 4 years has been the spark plug for Lakeview. As for the Maidens, with the all-senior lineup to begin things here, is Cappuccino at the corner. Force it to Wagner, and it's an offensive foul called against Lakeview on Michaela Wagner. And for Wagner, that is her first and the team's first foul with 6:46 to play. And the opening quarter still searching for our first field goal between these two squads, between Snyder with a 5-4 mark in district play, and for Lakeview 0-9. Good ball movement by the Lady Tigers. Over to the corner is Davis. Davis, her triple try is an air ball, but it's collected by Snyder. They have another chance as they swing it around to Martinez at the corner. 6:20 to play in this first quarter. No score from Lakeview. Open jump shot from the corner, hits the back iron, and Cappuccino brings it down for the Maidens as she draws the double team in their own backcourt. As she receives help by Pinata. Back to Cappuccino. Over to Wagner. Lead pass ahead to Harris at the baseline. Back to Wagner. 5:56 to play in the opening quarter. No score. There's a shot there by Harris. Hits the back iron. As for Snyder, they come back the other way. Here's Humphrey. Now feeds it underneath. And the shot was missed by Brazil. Hits the back iron. As for Snyder, they get another rebound. No score. 5:35 to play in the opening quarter. Now driving inside, and the shot was blocked by Felicity Harris. It goes out on Harris, so it's still Snyder basketball with 5:28 to play in this initial frame, and we are still scoreless. As for Lakeview, 2-11 at home. Davis will inbound. Here's a triple try from the corner by Davis. Hits the side rim as Cappuccino pulls down the loose board for the Lady Maidens. Still searching for their first win in this new year. As for Lakeview, now into the front court. Now driving inside, and count it. That's Pinata with the bucket and the game's first field goal. So as for Lakeview now into the front top 2-0. And she will go to the Lana Tiffany Realtor team free throw line. And the foul is called on Haley Humphrey. And for Humphrey, that's her first and the team's first. So that's Pinata on the Lana and Tiffany Realtor free throw line, and her shot is up and in. And she has scored all 3 points for Lakeview, and the Lady Maidens with an early 3-0 lead as we approach the 5-minute mark in this opening quarter. Benitez into the front court for the Lady Tigers as Lakeview still maintains that 2-3 zone defense. Over to Martinez, right in front of the Lakeview bench. Here's a long shot by Brazil. Offensive rebound by Humphrey. And there's a foul called, and that will be called on Humphrey. And for Humphrey, that is her second and the team's second. And it's Lakeview basketball as they will inbound it underneath their own basket on senior night here on this Friday from the campus of Lakeview High School. There's Harris into the front court, quickly up the sideline, and gives to Wagner. Errant pass intended for Cappuccino goes out of play, so that's a Lakeview turnover, and that stops the clock with 4:29 left in the opening frame. 3-0's our score. Substitution for Snyder as Humphrey checks out of the game with 2 fouls, and Christian Lura comes into the game as the post. He's a junior. Triple try by Davis, and the rebound inside the paint by Wagner gives to Cappuccino. So for Snyder, struggling from the field in this early going. Into the front court is Harris. Jump pass, wide open. And for the easy buckets, Pinata. Pinata with all 5 Lakeview points. As we are now under the 4-minute mark, 3:55 and counting. It's Lakeview 5 and Snyder 0. So with this all-senior lineup, the Maidens have come out very strong. Here's Brazil. Into the corner is Lucero. Now back up top is Davis. Davis has misfired on her first 3 shots from the field. Now she's 0 for 4. And the rebound goes to the senior Cappuccino. Long pass ahead to Wagner. And the ball goes out of play at the corner. And it's last touch there by Michaela Wagner. And it's now Snyder basketball. As for Lakeview, that is their second turnover of the game with 3 minutes and 28 seconds to play. And the initial stanza. As for the Maidens, up by 5-0. And the regular season finale for the Lakeview Maidens. As for Snyder, they bring the ball into the front court. 2-3 zone once again by Lakeview. There's a long rebound inside the paint by Harris. Missed opportunity once again by Snyder. As for Lakeview, now here's Cappuccino. The leader of this team angles over to the left side. Long 3 ball. Offensive rebound is short. Harris's shot hits the front iron. And the rebound's brought down by Snyder. Searching for their first field goal of the game. Here's an errant pass. Is tipped away. And it's recovered by Pinata. So Pinata's been very busy with the steal there. And also 5 points leading the way for the Maidens. Here's Espinoza at the point guard. Underhands it to Harris. Now lobs it to Espinoza, and it's off her hand, and it's a turnover out of bounds at the baseline. So with 2:28 to play in this opening quarter, Pinata 5 for Lakeview, and for Snyder 0, still searching for their first field goal made in this contest. As for Lakeview, 8-14 on the season, 2-11 at home. There's a bounce pass to Brazil. Over to Benitez. Benitez, she drains that 3-pointer. And for Benitez, she puts Snyder on the scoreboard. It's now 5-3 with 2:05 to play in the opening quarter. And the ball comes right to us here in the broadcast perch. We are located just to the right of the action here with our producer and director, Shea Harris. As for Lakeview with the basketball, leading by a field goal, 5-3. Here's Cappuccino. As she comes into the front court for the Maidens and loses control of the ball at the sideline. There's a tie-up. Davis with the aggressive play on defense. And the possession arrow favors Snyder. So that's a turnover on Cappuccino on Lakeview. As now for Snyder with 1:50 to play in the quarter with a chance to tie it. It's Lakeview 5 and Snyder 3. Taryn Nobles into the game for Snyder. Pass is tipped by Cappuccino and intercepted. So she redeems herself there with she commits a turnover and forces one. As the senior now sends it over to Garvey. Garvey charges. Her shot is short, and it's picked up there by Nobles. Comes up the other way out the push. Her shot is too hard off the glass, and it's brought down there by Lakeview as Alexis Williams with the rebound. Long pass ahead into the front court to Pinata. Back to Espinoza. Over to the corner for the triple try, and that is good. That's a 3-ball by Garvey. That's a wing stop Knickerbocker 3-pointer for Garvey. And Garvey for Lakeview now makes it 8-3 with under 1 minute to play in the opening quarter. As for Lakeview with their 2-3 zone defense, they've been pretty stellar on the defensive end in this opening quarter. Over to the right corner is Davis as her shot is blocked, and it goes out of play at the baseline with 41.8 seconds left in the opening quarter. Give credit to the Maidens defense. They've come out very strong against this Snyder team, but for Snyder, they've had some cold shooting from the field. Now over to Davis. Davis still searching for a first bucket of the game. Here's Martinez at the wing. Draws a double team, but Martinez is called for traveling, and that stops the clock with 35.3 seconds left in the quarter. It's Lakeview 8 and Snyder 3, as the Maidens leading by 5 here at home in their final regular season game of the season. Here's Michaela Wagner. Draws the double team into the front court. Over to Landy Williams. Back to Espinoza, and there's a foul at the right sideline with 22.6 seconds left in the quarter, as the foul will be called on Snyder. So Lakeview will inbound the basketball as the foul is called by Christian Lura. And for Lura, that is her first and the team's third. As Lakeview up by 5 will inbound. Wagner gives to Espinoza, and it's last touch there by Taryn Nobles of Snyder. And for the Maidens, they will inbound once again with 20.6 seconds left in the opening quarter. Michaela Wagner gives to Espinoza at the wing. Espinoza now angles over to the left, and that is a foul called on Lakeview. And turnover, and with the foul will be called on Alexis Williams, and for Alexis Williams, that is her first and the team's second foul with 12 seconds left in the quarter. 8-3 is our score, Lakeview. Snyder with the basketball, now down to 5 seconds in the quarter. Over to Davis, lets it fly from the corner, and that will end the opening quarter of play as the Maidens with an 8-3 advantage as they lead by 5 points. So for Lakeview, it's 8, and for Snyder, 3. Leading the way is Pinata with a game high of 5 points. So a pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
Football fans, stop by Wingstop in Southwest Plaza before or after the game. We have the best wings in town and offer curbside pickup and delivery. So stop by Friday night and celebrate with Wingstop on Knickerbocker Road.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttex.com.
Welcome back to Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union. As we'll head into the second quarter of play as the Maidens with a 5-point advantage at 8-3. Pinata with 5 points and Garvey with 3 for Lakeview, as Benitez with a 3-pointer for the Snyder Lady Tigers to begin this second quarter of play. So here's the inbounds to Michaela Wagner. Draws a double team into the front court. There's a bounce pass to Harris. Harris drives inside the lane. And there's a whistle, and a foul has been called. And the foul will be called on Lakeview to begin things here in this second quarter. As the foul will be called on Felicity Harris. And for Harris, that's her first and the team's third foul. Snyder with the basketball as they trail by 5, 8-3 to begin this second quarter play. Maidens with a 2-3 zone defense. Here's Brazil. Drives to baseline. Back to Davis. She struggled in that first quarter from the field. Good ball movement to Benitez. Back to Davis. Davis cuts inside the lane. Loses control of the ball. Inside the paint. And there's a tie-up. And the possession arrow will favor Snyder with 7:24 left in this second quarter. As the Maidens up by 5, 8-3. Pinata with a game high of 5 points for the Maidens. Here's a long triple shot try from the corner, which is an air ball by Martinez. As here's Cappuccino for Lakeview with the jog dribble into the front court. Her team up by 5, 8-3. Espinoza wide to the right. As she brings it up to the wing, underhands to Cappuccino, the star player of this Lakeview team. Forces a pass, which was intended for Harris. And now that's a whistle and a stoppage of play with 6:57 left in the second quarter. So it's a turnover on Lakeview. And a substitution as Harris goes out and Pinata comes in. Pinata with a game high once again of 5 points. So for Snyder, only with 3 points in the game, they have struggled with their shooting from the field. Here's a pass which is tipped away and recovered by Lakeview. That's a turnover again by Snyder. Alexis Williams with the fine defensive play and gives to Espinoza. 6:38 and counting in this second quarter. As Lakeview, they lead by 5, 8-3. Wagner circles over to the near side, gives to Cappuccino in her final game. Now back up top, underhands to Cappuccino. She trips and falls down at the wing, and the ball goes out of play, so that's a turnover for Cappuccino as she stumbles and falls down at the wing, and that's a Lakeview turnover. So for Snyder, they have the basketball. Still 8-3, 6 minutes, 15 seconds and winding in this second quarter of play from the Ben Norton Gymnasium. As for Lakeview, 8-14 on the season, 0-9 in district play. Now cutting inside, and the shot just all glass. That's an air ball. The ball's tipped over to the wing, brought down by Davis. Davis has struggled in the field so far tonight. That has been the main story for Snyder. Over to the right side is Brazil. Out to the right corner is Benitez. Brings it back up to the wing in front of the Lakeview bench with 5:40 to play in the first half. Over to Brazil, drives the baseline against two defenders, goes down hard at the baseline, and a foul will be called, and that stops play with 5:36 left in the second quarter. The foul will be called on Lakeview on Espinoza, and for Espinoza, that is her first foul and the team's fifth. That will send Nobles, rather that's Brazil on the free throw line. Her first shot is in, and it's now 8-4. As for Lakeview, trying to win one here in Brazil. She hits both of her shots in that situation. She has 2 points in the game. It's now 8-5 Lakeview. There's Cappuccino, draws the double team. Wagner, and Wagner's coming for traveling for Lakeview. And now for Snyder, now with a chance to cut it to within one with a field goal as they trail 8-5. 5 minutes, 25 seconds to play in the first half. Here's Benitez at the point, got into the front court. Tries to split the 2-3 zone defense. Over to Brazil, back to the corner. Over to Benitez. And Benitez is calling for traveling at the right wing. And that's a turnover for the Snyder Lady Tigers. So turnovers has been the story in tonight's game so far in this first half. As for Lakeview, they have the basketball. Now here's Michaela Wagner to Cappuccino. Cappuccino now sends it across court to Wagner. Draws the double team, back to Cappuccino. Over to the left side. Cappuccino with the jump pass to Espinoza. Espinoza's shot hits the rim, gets her own rebound, but it's now brought down there by Benitez as she races it down. Lob pass over to Martinez. Back to Davis. Davis right-handed shot inside the lane. That's good. As Davis with her first field goal. And it's now 8-7 Lakeview. The Maidens with a 1 point lead with 4:37 and counting in this second quarter. Into the front court for Lakeview is Pinata. Now to Wagner. Now the ball was intended for Alexis Williams but goes out of play at the Snyder bench. So another turnover by the Maidens. And a timeout has been called with 4:26 to play in the second quarter. Well, folks, we are live streaming Central and Lakeview basketball every Tuesday and Friday. Watch Tuesday as we will stream the Central Bobcat boys against the Friendship Tigers. Tip-off is at 6:30 right here on ConchoSports.com, the Concho Sports Network, Roku and Fire TV apps, YouTube, and Facebook. And hey fans, would you like to watch Concho Sports Network games on your TV live in high definition? All you have to do is install CSN Roku or Amazon Fire TV app. You can install them on either device just by searching Concho Sports. We invite you to check it out for the best viewing experience. As we have 4 minutes and 26 seconds to play in the second quarter, our score as the Maidens leading throughout this entire game, now only up by 1, 8-7. As for Lakeview, Pinata with a game high of 5 points and Garvey with 3 for the Maidens. Here's Snyder. Now here's Davis. Triple try as that hits the side of the rim. And the rebound's brought down by Brazil. And there's a tie-up. And possession arrow will favor Lakeview with 4:09 to play in the first half as the Maidens, they maintain a slim 1-point lead at 8-7. Meanwhile, for Snyder, it is Benitez with the three-pointer, Brazil with 2, and Davis with 2 points. As Davis, she has struggled shooting in the game, but she is finally able to get a field goal in this first half. So here is Lakeview with the basketball. Michaela Wagner with a walk and dribble over to Cappuccino. She stops her dribble. Now a long pass, which is intercepted by Abby Benitez. Benitez with the quick push over to Davis. And there's a tie-up with Michaela Wagner. Fine defense there by Wagner as the possession arrow will favor Snyder with 3 minutes and 51 seconds to play in the second quarter. Lakeview 8 and Snyder 7. As Benitez will inbound at the left baseline for Snyder. Gives to Davis. Davis at the left wing against a 2-3 zone defense. Pass was tipped over to Martinez. Now back to Davis. Up top to Benitez for the Snyder Lady Tigers against the 2-3 zone. Thought about the three, but now Brazil with the ball. Back up top to Benitez. Diving for the ball was Michaela Wagner. And there's a, looks like they will reset the scene with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left in the second quarter. And the foul will be called on Michaela Wagner for Lakeview. That is her second and the team's 6th foul. As Wagner goes out, as Garvey comes in for the Maidens. Now Snyder with the basketball. Here's Brazil between the circles with a 2-3 zone defense, and the errant pass goes out of play right in front of the Lakeview bench. So it's a turnover against the Tigers, the Lady Tigers, and for the Maidens, they now have the basketball up by 1, 8-7 with 3:18 and winding in this second quarter. Here's Cappuccino to the front court against a 2-3 zone defense. Now the pass was intended for Cappuccino, is intercepted by Brazil as Brazil goes all the way in with the easy layup, and Brazil now has 3 points. And for Snyder, they have their first lead of the game at 9-8. 2:55 to play in the first half. Here's Cappuccino. Now to Espinoza into the front court. Over to Garvey. Lets it fly for 3. Hits the back iron. Offensive rebound by Pinata as Pinata gets fouled. And it appears that she will go to the free throw line. And Pinata with 5 points. So Pinata is the Lana Tiffany Realtor team free throw line to our right. And the foul will be called on Melanie Martinez. That is her first and the team's 4th. Here's Pinata's shot is up and in. She now has 6 points. And we are tied at 9 with 2 minutes and 46 seconds to play in this second quarter. Pinata has been a bright spot for Lakeview tonight in their final game of the season, and her second shot hits the back rim, gets her own rebound. Out back to Espinoza. Over to Cappuccino, launches a 3, hits the left side of the rim, and the rebound's pulled down by Snyder at a tied game at 9. 2:33 to play in the second quarter. There's a 3 ball by Brazil, and the ball goes out of play at the baseline, and it's now Lakeview basketball with 2 minutes and 25 seconds to play in the second. Pinata with a game high of 6 points. Garvey with 3 for Lakeview. Meanwhile, Brazil and Benitez for Snyder each with 3, and Davis with a field goal. Here's Cappuccino. as she brings the ball into the front court for the Lady Maidens, and the pass is too high off the fingertips of Alexis Williams, and it's a Maidens turnover. And the Snyder Lady Tigers now with a chance to take the lead with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the first half. Into the front court is Amy Martinez for Snyder. 2-3 zone defense by Lakeview. Brazil now driving inside the lane, and the shot was missed there by Christian Lura as Cappuccino falls down right in front of us at the midcourt area. And for Snyder, the foul will be called on Brazil. And for Brazil, that is her first and the team's 5th foul. As for Amber Garvey, she will inbound it to Cappuccino. Cappuccino to the front court. Tied game at 9, 1:47 left in the second quarter. As Lakeview trying to tie the game. Now it's taken away, a turnover. But Lakeview now with the basketball is Cappuccino. She misses the layup. Offensive rebound by Pinata. Her shot is short, and the ball goes out of play. And that stops the clock with 92 seconds left in this second quarter. Touched by Snyder, so it's Lakeview basketball as Garvey will inbound for the Lady Maidens. Now it's Pinata, and she gets fouled. And the quick pass as Pinata gets fouled. As Pinata will go to the Ilana and Tiffany Realtor free throw line. Pinata with 6 points, and the foul will be called on Lucero. She has her 2nd foul and the team's 6. Pinata with 6 out of the team's 9 points in this first half, and her shot from the line is up and in. She now has 7 points as Lakeview, they have now regained the lead once again at 10-9 with 90 seconds to play in the first half. Pinata's second shot hits the back iron, and a long rebound which goes out of play. And it's Lakeview basketball. Was touched there by Amy Martinez of Snyder. So for the Maidens, they'll get another opportunity here, leading by 1, 10-9 in the second quarter. Maidens have played very well in tonight's game so far. Now up top to Alexis Williams. Launches a 3 ball, hits the glass, and the ball was loose, and a foul will be called on the Maidens. That stops the clock as Alexis Williams is called with the foul. That is her 2nd and the team's 7th foul. And that will send Snyder onto the free throw line with 1:18 left in the second quarter. As Christian Lura will go to the free throw line. Lura searching for her first bucket of the night. And that is up and in. And we are tied at 10 with 1:18 to play in this second quarter, as Pinata with a game high of 7 points for Lakeview and Garvey with 3 for the Lady Maidens. Lura's second shot is short, and rebounds wrestled down by Pinata, but taken away there by Snyder. And Brazil, as she gets fouled, and that stops the clock at 1:13 left in the second quarter. As Brazil gets the rebound, and she was fouled on the play. And the foul's collected there by Cappuccino. That's her first and the team's 8th foul. Brazil with 3 points in tonight's game. And her shot hits the back of the iron and drops out. So Brazil and Benitez each with 3 points for Snyder. Davis with a field goal for the Lady Tigers. There's Brazil's second shot goes in. 1 out of 2 on that sequence. She has 4 points in the game. As for Snyder, they now lead 11-10. As we approach 70 seconds to play in the first half, there's Lakeview. There's Cappuccino now draws the double team. Pass goes over to Garvey. Now at the baseline is Alexis Williams. There's a forced shot there by Amber Garvey, and Garvey gets fouled. As Amber Garvey is at the Atlanta and Tiffany Realtor free throw line, as Garvey is searching, now has 3 points on the night, and the foul was called on Taryn Nobles, and for Nobles, that is her first and the team's 7th. Garvey misfires on her first shot from the line. 55.6 seconds left in the second quarter, as Snyder leads by 1, 11-10. And Garvey, she misfires on both of those shots, 0 out of 2 in that situation. Snyder with the basketball with the quick push into the front court. Top of the circle, that's Nobles, and it's intercepted there, taken away there by Lakeview. There's Cappuccino, comes back the other way. Nice 360 spin move, and the ball goes out of play. So the senior star player of the Maidens, Cappuccino, with a nifty 360 spin move, cutting inside the hoop. So for the Maidens, they are now inbound from the baseline with 38 seconds left in the first half. Over to Cappuccino. Tries to force one, but it's taken away, and now Taryn Nobles with the basketball for Snyder, but it goes out of play at the Lakeview bench with 29 ticks left in the second quarter. As Nobles will inbound for Snyder right in front of the Lakeview bench. Over to Brazil with 28 seconds left. Our score, Snyder 11 and Lakeview 10. Over to Martinez, Amy Martinez against a 2-3 zone by the Maidens. Over to Brazil, taking a lot of time off the clock, looking for a last second shot, down to 13 seconds and counting. There's Brazil. Brazil, her pass was intended for Lura. It's intercepted by the Maidens by Espinoza. 3 seconds left. There's Cappuccino, launches a long three, rolls from the rim, and that will end the first half of play. Wow, Cappuccino was very close there with a three-pointer. But our score at the break, it is Snyder up by only one, 11-10. And for Lakeview, they scored 2 points in the second quarter. And for Snyder, they scored 8. So for the Lady Tigers, they outscored Lakeview in the second quarter, 8-2. So we'll pause for a break, and then we'll have our halftime show. This is Lakeview Maidens Basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
We all want to get back to the way things used to be. Going to concerts, cheering for our teams in a packed stadium, dancing the night away with our friends. But if we truly want things to go back to the way they were, we need everyone to come together. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and social distance. Together, we can beat this. Together, we'll get back to the way things used to be.
Football fans, stop by Wingstop in Southwest Plaza before or after the game. We have the best wings in town and offer curbside pickup and delivery. So stop by Friday night and celebrate with Wingstop on Knickerbocker Road.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex, 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
Welcome to the Mathis Law Fire halftime show from the Ben Norton Gymnasium from the campus of Lakeview High School. We are at halftime with our score. It is Snyder up by only one by a count of 11-10. As for the Maidens, they outscored Snyder in the first quarter 8-3. But in that second quarter, turnovers has been the story for the Maidens as they were outscored in the second 8-2. Let's give you the halftime numbers here for you real quick. First for Lakeview, it was Pinata with a game high of 7 points with a very strong start for the Lady Maidens tonight, as Garvey with 3 points, which equals 10 for the Lakeview Maidens. Meanwhile, for Snyder, the Lady Tigers with a record of 13-12 on the season and 5-4 in district play. It's Brazil with a team high of 4 points, Davis with 2, Benitez with 3, and Lura with 2 points for the Lady Tigers of Snyder. Well, while we have a moment, we do have some news around the Lakeview campus, as the Chiefs have hired Geraldo Bueno as the new baseball coach, as the varsity team will commence with a scrimmage on Tuesday, February the 9th against Wall, and will play in the Brownwood tournament on Thursday, February the 25th, as district play will begin on Tuesday, March 16th at home against Snyder. Meanwhile, the Chiefs soccer team travels to Brownwood for a match tonight and will visit Canyon on Tuesday, February the 9th, as district play will commence on Friday, February the 12th at Snyder, as the Chiefs' first home match will be against Sweetwater on Tuesday, February the 16th. And furthermore, the Maiden softball team will play a series of scrimmages within the next week, and they will travel on the road on Tuesday, February the 16th. So quite a bit of action coming up, and their season opener as district play starts on March 23rd with a home game against Sweetwater. So we have quite a bit of exciting events upcoming here for Lakeview Athletics after basketball season concludes. And let's quickly talk about the other games in the District 3-4A standings tonight. Of course, we have here Snyder and Lakeview, but Big Spring is at Sweetwater, and Estacado travels to Levelland, as Levelland with a perfect 9-0 record in the district entering tonight's game, and 22-0 overall in the season. Lubbock Estacado, they are right behind them as far as the district record is concerned. They have a record of 7-2, but are 12-11 overall in the season. Of course, Snyder's in third place with this 13-12 mark and 5-4 in the district. Big Spring and Sweetwater, they are each with identical 3-6 district records, so they are tied for fourth place. But Big Spring, they have a 10-14 overall record, and Sweetwater, they are 9-15. And meanwhile, the Lady Maidens, they are 0-9 as we mentioned earlier, but 8-14 overall in the season. So for the Maidens, they like to end their regular season on a bright note with a home win against a district opponent. And while we have a moment there, my friends, let's give you a little bit of basketball history. Since today is Friday, February the 5th, on this day in basketball history, 60 years ago today, my friends, Wilt Chamberlain of the Philadelphia Warriors scored 55 points in a 136-128 win over the New York Knicks. And in that season, Chamberlain averaged 38.4 points per game. And in the 1961-62 season, he averaged 50 points a game. Can you imagine that, my friends, averaging 50 points a game? And in his stellar career, he averaged 30 points per game and 22.9 rebounds in his 15-year career. So just think about that. Every game he played in his 15-year career, he averaged 30 points and 22 rebounds. And he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1979, and he played for the Philadelphia Warriors, the San Francisco Warriors, the LA Lakers, and the Philadelphia 76ers. And in his career, just imagine this, my friends, Chamberlain had 78 triple-doubles, won 2 NBA titles, and of course is the only, can you imagine that there, Shay? That's just unbelievable. 78 triple-doubles in his career. And of course, he's the only player in NBA history to score 100 points in a game. He did that back on March the 2nd of 1962 against the New York Knicks. In a game, can you watch? How about this score? 169-147 was the final score in that game. So not that much defense played in that March of 1962 game. And in that game, Chamberlain, how about his individual numbers for that contest? 36 out of 63 from the field. So he shot 63 times that night, 28 out of 32 from the free throw line, and he had 25 rebounds. So that's just in one night. For many players, that's like perhaps a month's worth of work. As the New York Press did not send any reporters prior to that game. And the game was not even televised. And there was no video footage of that epic night that wasn't even recorded. The only recordings of that game was an audio recording of only the fourth quarter. Can you imagine that? And at that time, the NBA was really lagging as far as American popularity and also attendance, because college football and college basketball were more popular in the American society at that time in 1962. So unbelievable what happened way back then, over 60 years ago in basketball history today on February the 5th. So we'll take a short break, and then we'll come back with the start of the third quarter. This is Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Welcome back to Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union. As we're ready to begin start of the third quarter, as the Lakeview Maidens now trailing by a score of 11-10. As Snyder now with the basketball. Here's Davis and their opening possession, and Davis is called for traveling at the wing. So for Davis, she has struggled tonight, only with 2 points. She is their go-to player for the Snyder Lady Tigers. So for Lakeview now with a chance to take the lead as they trail 11-10 to begin things here in this start of the third. Here's Lakeview on offense as Pinata with a game high of 7 points to Espinoza up top. Swings it over to Michaela Wagner. Now over to Pinata. Now as Pinata's bank shot is up and in, as Pinata now with 9 points with that bank shot off the glass inside the paint. It's now 12-11. Lakeview now inside the lane. Now it's a turnover. Fine defense there, taken away there by Pinata, the senior. As Pinata brings up to the front court with a game high of 9 points. Gives to Cappuccino. Cappuccino still searching for her first basket of the night. Cappuccino now sends a lead pass intended for Pinata, and it's off her hand, and it's a turnover. So Cappuccino with no points tonight, but it's been picked up by Pinata. Pinata's picked up the slack with 9 points in tonight's game. So with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third, Lakeview with a 1 point advantage at 12-11 over Snyder. Here's the Lady Tigers into the front court. 2-3 zone defense is tipped away there by Michaela Wagner. Wagner with the steal. Drives all the way inside the lane. And it goes off the leg of Christian Lura. As Lura's back in the game for Snyder. So it's Lakeview basketball. Espinoza will inbound. Gives to Pinata. She's been very busy tonight. Back to Wagner. Turnaround shot for the baseline is an air ball. And it's picked up there by Snyder. As Taryn Nobles with the basketball. Now into the front court is Martinez. And the shot is waved off. And the foul will be called on Lakeview. That stops the clock with 6 minutes and 19 seconds left in the third quarter. As the foul was called on Pinata, that is her first and the team's first. And now the pass is intercepted by Cappuccino. Cappuccino now lobs it over to Espinoza. Now here's a long triple charge by Wagner, hits the back iron. Offensive rebound by Lakeview. Harris misses her shot, and the whistle blows. And possession arrow will favor Snyder. Davis comes back into the game. And going out of the contest is Taryn Nobles. So Davis with her 2 points is back into the lineup for Snyder. As Snyder trails by 1, 12-11. As we play 2 minutes in this third quarter. Here's a pass intercepted there by Cappuccino off the tip. Drives all the way inside the lane and gets her first bucket of the game. As Cappuccino with the steal. Now she steals it again. calls her teammates to come back. So Cappuccino, 2 great plays there. Now feeds it underneath as Felicity Harris scores, and Harris gets her first bucket of the night. 4 quick points by Lakeview, and a timeout has been called by the Snyder Lady Tigers. As for Lakeview, now with their lead at 5 at 16-11. So we'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
We all want to get back to the way things used to be. Going to concerts, cheering for our teams in a packed stadium, dancing the night away with our friends. But if we truly want things to go back to the way they were, we need everyone to come together. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and social distance. Together, we can beat this. Together, we'll get back to the way things used to be.
Welcome back to Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union. As for Snyder, they now trail 16-11 here in this third quarter on 2 great plays by Lisa Cappuccino. As for Snyder, here's Brazil. Her bounce pass intended for Peyton Grote, and the ball goes out of play, so that is a Snyder turnover. So for Lakeview, now up by 5, they can now increase it to 7, as Lisa Cappuccino with 2 great plays moments ago with the 2 steals and also a field goal. Here's Wagner. Wagner drives inside the lane, drives hard and puts it up and in. As for Wagner, that is her first field goal. Michaela Wagner, the senior, drives the baseline and puts it up and in, and it's now 18-11 for Lakeview. The ball's loose at the free throw line. Falling down is Haley Humphrey for Snyder, and it's a turnover, so it's now Lakeview basketball. This is the best we have seen Lakeview play tonight. After several turnovers in the second quarter, they have come out strong here in this third quarter. Here is Michaela Wagner. She brings the ball into the front court. Her team up by 7. She launches a 3, and that's an air ball, but it's recovered there by Espinoza for Lakeview at the corner. Bounce pass to Wagner as Wagner stepped out of bounds, and that's a turnover for the Maidens. So for Lakeview, up by 7 with 4 minutes and 35 seconds to play. In this third frame, it's Lakeview 18 and Snyder 11. As Davis, the star player for Snyder, she has been ice cold tonight, only with 2 points. As she walks it up and calls the play, now gives it to Lura, and the whistle blows. It was kicked by Lakeview, so it's still Snyder basketball. Amber Garvey comes back into the game, replaces Michaela Wagner. Wagner with 2 points in tonight's game. So for Snyder, they will inbound the basketball as Davis will do the honors for the Lady Tigers. Lady Tigers with a 5-4 record enter today's game. Wide open from the corner. Missing that shot was Humphrey. Now it's picked up by Lakeview. Amber Garvey now gives it to Espinoza into the front court, as Lakeview up by 7, 18-11 as we approach 4 minutes to play in this third quarter. As Garvey was thinking about the 3, but decides against it. Now to Cappuccino, drives the baseline underneath the basket. The reverse layup is up and in by Cappuccino. What a nifty move. Drives the left baseline, and with the right hand with the reverse layup off the glass, Cappuccino now at 4. It's now 20-11 as Lakeview now with their largest lead of the game at 9 points. 3:38 and counting in this third quarter. Here's Davis at the corner. Forces it to Grote. Now the ball goes out of play, and the foul will be called on the Maidens with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to play in this third quarter. So the foul will be on, appears to be on for Lakeview, is Pinata. That is her second and the team's third. And the shot is up and in as Peyton Grote hits her first shot from the line. It's now 20-12 as the Maidens now lead by 8. Grope's second shot drops in, 2 out of 2 in that situation. It's now 20-13 as the Maidens lead by 7 with 3:30 to play in this third quarter. Here's Cappuccino, jog dribble into the front court in front of her own bench. Up top to Harris, back to Cappuccino. Bouncer to Espinoza. 2-3 zone by Snyder. Triple try by Espinosa as an air ball. And the ball's tipped into play. And there's a whistle and a stoppage of play with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third quarter. As it appears that they will be a foul called. Yes, there's a foul called with 3:10 to play in the third quarter. As the foul will be called on Snyder's Haley Humphrey. And for Humphrey, that is her third and the team's first. As for Lakeview, they'll inbound the basketball underneath the basket, leading by 7, 20-13. The pass is intercepted by Brazil as she gives it to Grope. As Grope stops her dribble. Instead, now gives it to Davis. Davis with only 2 points on the night, 3 minutes to play in the third quarter, 20-13 Lakeview, as Davis cuts inside the lane, and Davis gets fouled as he takes it to the hoop. As the foul will be called on Lakeview with 2:55 left in the third quarter. As Davis will go to the free throw line, that foul will be called on Pinata. And for Pinata, that's her third foul and the team's fourth, as Davis misfires her shot from the line. As Pinata goes out for Lakeview, and checking back into the game is Alexis Williams. Pinata with a game high of 9 points as Williams comes into the game. Davis, her shot hits the front iron and goes out of play, and it's Lakeview basketball. So the Maidens 0-9 in district play, leading by 7, 20-13 with 2 minutes and 53 seconds to play in the third quarter. Folks, we are live streaming Central and Lakeview basketball every Tuesday and Friday. Watch on Tuesday as we will stream the Central Bobcat boys against the Friendship Tigers. Tip-off is at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on ConchoSports.com, the Concho Sports Network Roku, and Fire TV apps, YouTube, and Facebook. Hey fans, would you like to watch Concho Sports Network games on your television live in high definition? All you have to do is install the CSN Roku or Amazon Fire TV app. You can install them now on either device just by searching Concho Sports. We invite you to check it out for the best viewing experience. And so far tonight, it has been Lakeview here at home up by 7 points by a score of 20-13. As Pinata with a game high of 9 points for the Maidens. Garvey with 3, Cappuccino with 4, Wagner and Harris each with field goals. Here comes the Maidens on offense. Here's Cappuccino, the senior star of the team. Now they bounce it around. Now back up top to Cappuccino. Launches a 3, hits the back iron, and a long rebound. The ball's loose at the foul line. Recovered by Harris. Swings it over to the far side to Garvey. Garvey at the corner needs some help. Draws a double team, and the ball goes out of play at the corner. Last touch by Snyder, so it's still Lakeview basketball. As Garvey will inbound for the Maidens with 2:29 left in the third. Lakeview up by 7, 20-13. The pass is tipped at the baseline. Last touch there by Peyton Grope. As for Lakeview, they'll inbound the basketball. Here's Amber Garvey. She will do the honors for the Maidens as she looks for someone. Now gives to Cappuccino at the sideline. Bounce pass to Garvey, draws a double team, back to Cappuccino, launches the 3 from the corner. That is good. That's a wing stop on Knickerbocker Road 3-pointer for Cappuccino. And Cappuccino now has 7 points. It's now a 10-point lead for Lakeview at 23-13 with 2:08 to play in the third quarter. Here's Davis into the front court for Snyder. They swing it over to the far side. Now driving inside the lane is Brazil. And Brazil gets fouled as he takes it to the hoop. The foul will be called on Lakeview. That stops the clock with 1:58 left in the third quarter. As Felicity Harris is called with the foul. That is her third foul of the game and the team's 5th. That will send Brazil on the free throw line. She has 4 points, leading the way for Snyder. Her first shot rolls from the rim and drops out. So Brazil with a team high of 4 points. Meanwhile, for Lakeview, is Pinata with 9. Cappuccino now with a very strong third quarter. She has all 7 points in the third quarter. Wagner and Harris each with field goals, and Garvey with 3. So Brazil's on the free throw line. She has 4 points. As Lakeview leading by 10, 23-13. As Brazil, she hits her second shot, 1 out of 2 in that sequence. She has 5 points, 23-14. Lakeview 1:54 to play. Here's a pass intercepted by Davis. Davis, a bounce pass over to the right side, and it's up and in as Abby Benitez with the field goal. Benitez now at 5 points. Full court press by Snyder, 23-16 Lakeview. 1:40 to play. Now driving inside the lane for Lakeview. That is Amber Garvey, and it's waved off. It's waved off at the last moment. It appeared that Garvey had the field goal due to the chagrin of the Lakeview faithful. So it's now Snyder basketball. As we take a look at the replay, it was waved off. So the field goal by Garvey goes for naught. So the score is still 23-16, and the foul will be on Alexis Williams for Lakeview. That's her third in the team 6. Snyder with the basketball. Here's a triple try. It's short. Davis with the rebound with 1:23 left. And the ball goes out of play. Last touch by Lakeview. Our score, Lakeview 23 and Snyder 16. As for the Lady Tigers, they'll inbound as they bring it up top to Brazil. Brazil cuts inside the lane, loses control of the basketball. Now it's picked up by Espinoza for Lakeview. Now sends it ahead to Landy Williams. Landy Williams, her pass is too far for Cappuccino and goes out of play, so it's a turnover against the Lady Maidens with 69 seconds left in the third. So it's now Snyder basketball. They trail 23-16. As for Snyder with the basketball, here's Abby Benitez. Benitez into the front court, over to Nobles, back to Guerrero, and Guerrero's called for the travel. Jalee Guerrero's called for traveling for the Snyder Lady Tigers, and it's now Lakeview basketball with 62 ticks left in the third. Our score, it's Lakeview 23 and Snyder 16. Well-played game in this third quarter by the Lady Maidens, searching for their first victory in district play. Into the front court is Valaro. Valaro drives inside the lane and count it, and the foul. Angie Valaro with the field goal. That is her first bucket of the night. Drives inside the lane, puts up the shot off the glass, and it goes in. As now for Valaro, she is at the Lana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line to our left. And Valaro with 2 points, her first bucket of the game, on a nifty move cutting in from the right side. Valaro on the line, her shot is up and in. She now has 3 points as Lakeview up by 10, 26-16 with under 1 minute to play in the third. Here's Nobles into the front court. Now off to the right side, Benitez drives inside the lane, loses control of the ball. There is a tie-up inside the paint. And a possession arrow of favor Snyder with 42.8 seconds left in the third. As the Maidens with their largest lead of the game by 10, 26-16. As the Maidens, they have lost 11 games in a row, looking to break this long losing streak. They have not won a single game yet in the new calendar year. Here's Nobles, and it's now taken away there by Cappuccino. She falls down, now picked up there by Brazil for Snyder, and now in for the layup is Taryn Nobles, and Nobles, she gets her first field goal of the game, 26-18 with 27 seconds left in the third. And Cappuccino's almost, the ball was knocked away from her by Davis. The ball's last touch by Davis of Snyder, so it's still Lakeview basketball. So for the Lady Maidens, they have to be careful here. As for Snyder, now electing to go with the full court press against the Lakeview guards. And now the ball is in play to Espinoza. Now back to Garvey, and now there's a quick foul. Foul in the backcourt. Appears to be against Abby Benitez, and for Benitez, that is her first foul in the team's third. 19.6 seconds left in the third. As for Lakeview, trying to bring it in, and they do now. Here's Amber Garvey in her own backcourt. And it's now taken away there by Davis. Davis drives up, and she missed the layup, and she gets fouled in the backcourt. The foul is on Amber Garvey, and for Garvey, that is her first and the team's seventh. So for Lakeview, having difficulties in the backcourt, as Snyder electing to go with the full court press here in the late stages of this third quarter, as our score is now 26-18. As the foul's called on Valaro, they'll say. So Valaro, that is her first foul of the game and the team's seventh. As Davis, she hits her first shot there for the line. She now has 3 points on the night, and her second shot in the air is up and in. Davis now with 4 points, 2 out of 2 in that situation. It's now a 6-point game. Lakeview 26, Snyder 20, 6 seconds left, full court press, and the pass is taken away and intercepted. Here comes Snyder with 1 second left in the quarter, and the shot doesn't go in, but traveling was called on Snyder to end the third quarter of play. On that shot, that was Taryn Nobles. So at the end of 3, our score, it is Lakeview 26 and Snyder 20. Look out in the fourth quarter for the full court press against the Lakeview Cards. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
Football fans, stop by Wingstop in Southwest Plaza before or after the game. We have the best wings in town and offer curbside pickup and delivery. So stop by Friday night and celebrate with Wingstop on Knickerbocker Road.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley Football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
Welcome back to Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union. As the Maidens will now have the basketball, leading by 6. They had a 10-point lead earlier in the third quarter, so Lakeview with the basketball here in the fourth quarter. Is Pinata up top to Espinoza, over to Michaela Wagner. Now dumped down low to Pinata against 2 defenders, and it's stripped away from her by Melanie Martinez, so another Lakeview turnover. Here comes the Lady Tigers to begin this fourth quarter. Here's Nobles. Now back over at the corner. Nobles against Wagner. And Wagner takes it away for Lakeview and gives to Pinata. Pinata against the double team over to Wagner. Just underway, start of the fourth quarter. As Lakeview on top, 26-20. Here's a triple try by the Maidens, and that is good. Felicity Harris with a wing stop on Knickerbocker Road three-pointer, as Harris with the three-pointer. She now has 5 points. It's now 29-20 Lakeview. We played 1 minute in this fourth quarter. Snyder down by 9 on the road, and there's a foul called on Lakeview, and that stops the clock with 6:53 left in the fourth quarter. And on the free throw line is Taryn Nobles. And the foul's called on Felicity Harris. And for Harris, that is her 4th foul and the team's 8th. So Nobles is on the free throw line for Snyder with 2 points. Her first shot hits the back iron and drops out. 29-20 is our score just out of the fourth quarter. In that third quarter, Lakeview outscored Snyder 16-9. And her second shot hits the front iron. And the rebound as Nobles with the ball, and the whistle blows. And a tie-up, and the possession arrow will favor Snyder with 6 minutes and 49 seconds left in this fourth quarter. As Lakeview, they were outscored 8-2 in the second, outscored Snyder 16-9 in the third. Here's Nobles, drives inside the lane, uncontested, and for the easy layup, Taryn Nobles drives all the way inside the lane, and the defense was lacking there for Lakeview. It's now 29-22 Maidens, and now the pass is intercepted by Snyder. There's Abby Martinez. Benitez, her shot's blocked from behind by Cappuccino, and it's picked up there by Harris for Lakeview. Fine defense there. Wagner into the front court for the Maidens. Here's another triple try, and that's Cappuccino. Her shot hits the back iron. Offensive rebound by Wagner, and the ball's touched out of play there by Benitez, and it's Lakeview basketball with 6 minutes and 9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So a timeout has been called, and we'll keep it right here as well, because folks, we are live streaming Central and Lakeview basketball every Tuesday and Friday. Watch on Tuesday as we will stream the Central Bobcat boys against Friendship. Tip-off is at 6:30 right here on ConchoSports.com, the Concho Sports Network, Roku, and Fire TV apps, YouTube, and on Facebook. Hey fans, would you like to watch Concho Sports Network games on your television live in high definition? All you have to do is install the CSN Roku or Amazon Fire TV app. You can install them now on either device just by searching Concho Sports. We invite you to check it out for the best viewing experience. As we have 6 minutes and 9 seconds to play in this very exciting game between these two teams that have struggled somewhat throughout the season. As for Snyder, they started the season 1-5, but have bounced back to win 5 out of their last 7. Meanwhile, for Lakeview, they started the season 7-4, but they have lost 11 games in a row and are 2-11 at home, and are looking to break the snide here tonight in their final regular season game as they lead Snyder by 7 points, 29-22 with 6:09 to play in this fourth quarter. So Michaela Wagner will inbound for Lakeview, gives to Cappuccino into the front court. One-on-one defense by Snyder. Harris Pinata, she's had a big night with 9 points to Michaela Wagner. Wagner at the wing, back to Pinata, lets it fly. It's an air ball as Cappuccino picks up the loose basketball. Lakeview with another opportunity. Here's Espinoza against Davis. Drives inside the lane, and Espinoza's caught for traveling at the foul line. So that's a turnover by the Maidens. And now with 5 minutes and 43 seconds left in this fourth quarter, Snyder with the basketball. Here now is Benitez into the front court. Over to Davis. Davis launches one for 3. Hits the front iron, and the rebound's wrestled down by Espinoza. She draws the triple team, and the foul's called on Snyder in the backcourt. With 5:28 left in the fourth quarter, as Lakeview still holding on to a 7-point advantage, and the foul's called by Abby Benitez. Benitez with the foul, and that's her second and the team's fourth. Michaela Wagner gives it to, now it's too far for Cappuccino, picked off there by Davis. Snyder with the basketball. Here's Taryn Nobles, drives inside the lane, and the shot was waved off. Nice cutting move, but the shot was waved off. A whistle and a foul has been, looks like the foul has been called with 5:20 left in the fourth quarter. As for Lakeview, leading by 5, and that will send Taryn Nobles to the free throw line. As Nobles on the night with 4 points. Her first shot is up and in. She now has 5 points. As the score is now 29-23. Lakeview on top. As Lakeview led as much as by 10 points in that third quarter when they outscored Snyder 16-9. As the foul's called on Michaela Wagner, that is her 4th foul of the game. Noble's shot is short, an air ball, and it's now Lakeview basketball. As for the Maidens, watch out for the full court press. They need a guard to bring it up. As for Lakeview, they lead 29-23. Now cooking to the front court, Pinata beyond the 3-point line. Over to Wagner. Wagner back to Pinata. Pinata for Lakeview at the wing against 2 defenders. And the foul will be called on Snyder on the reach-in foul. And that stops play with 5:02 left in the fourth quarter. And the foul's called on Brazil. That's her second and the team's 5th. Michaela Wagner will inbound the basketball for the Lady Maidens. Her team is up by 6, 29-23. It's intercepted by Snyder. And now the ball still loose, picked up by Wagner. Back to Cappuccino. She tries to force one into Espinoza. Back to Wagner. Over to Cappuccino. Her shot hits the back iron on the long 3. And the ball goes out of play at the corner. And then now will be Snyder basketball with 4 minutes and 43 seconds left in the fourth. As for Lakeview, still hanging on to a 6-point advantage at 29-23. Here's Abby Benitez into the front court for the Lady Tigers. A chance to cut the deficit to within 4 with a field goal. Here's Davis cutting inside. That is taken away there by Cappuccino. Long pass ahead to Harris. And a whistle blows. And traveling is called against Felicity Harris. The seniors calling for traveling and a turnover with 4 minutes and 25 seconds left in the fourth. Lakeview up by 6, 29-23. Here's Taryn Nobles into the front court against a 2-3 zone defense by Lakeview. Over to the right side. Now driving inside is Brazil. Back to Davis. Triple try for the corner. Hits the left side of the rim. Offensive rebound by Benitez. Back to Davis. Up top to Nobles. She puts up the shot and goes in. As Taryn Nobles with the field goal, she has 7 points off the bench. And it's now 29-25 is our score. It's a 4-point advantage for Lakeview. 3:50 to play in the fourth quarter. The ball's loose at the wing. Over to Espinoza. And a foul was called on Snyder. Another reach and foul. That stops play with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth. As the foul's called on Abby Benitez. And for Benitez, that is her third foul and team foul number 6. So for Lakeview, Michaela Wagner will inbound the basketball. Her team up by 4. They had a 10-point lead in the third quarter. Lob pass to Harris. Harris underneath the basket. Misses the reverse layup as an air ball. Here comes Brazil the other way for Snyder. Drives up, pull-up jumper, hits the left side of the glass. Here now is Nobles over from the corner. Now to Benitez. Long triple try by Brazil, hits the back iron. And the offensive rebound. That's missed shot by Martinez. And the foul's caught on Lakeview. And play is halted with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left, as that will send Melanie Martinez to the free throw line. And the foul's caught on Pinata. And for Pinata, that is her 4th foul, team foul number 10. And that will send Martinez to the free throw line, and her shot is up and in. Melanie Martinez, that is her first point of the night. As Michaela Wagner goes out, and checking into the game is Amber Garvey. Michaela Wagner with a field goal leaves the contest for Lakeview. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter as Melanie Martinez hits her second shot, 2 out of 2 from the line. 29-27, it's a tight one as the Maidens only lead now by 2. They had a 10-point lead in the third quarter, and a reach and foul as Cappuccino into the front court. The foul will be called on Snyder. That stops the clock with 3 minutes and 6 seconds left, and that will send Cappuccino to the Alana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line. Checking out is Espinoza. Coming back in is Wagner. And on the foul for Snyder is Abby Benitez. And for Benitez, that is her 4th foul of the game. Cappuccino with 7 points on the night. Her shot from the line is in. She now has 8. The senior star is on the Lana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line. Cappuccino with 8 points. It's 30-27 Lakeview. Her second shot counted. 9 points in the game. So Cappuccino and Pinata each with 9 points in the game. It's now 31-27 Lakeview with 3:06 to play in the fourth quarter. Let's pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Welcome back to Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union. Well, for the Maidens, they lost by 30 points on Tuesday to Lubbock Estacado, 66-36, but tonight they lead by 4 here at home with 3:06 to play in the fourth quarter and also in their final game of the regular season. Snyder with the basketball. Here's Taryn Nobles into the front court against a 2-3 Lakeview zone defense. They swing it over to the far side, over to Nobles. And now there's a tie-up at the left wing as Amber Garvey was there, and the foul will be called on Lakeview. The foul's called on Amber Garvey, and for Garvey, that is her second foul of the game. Check that, make that the first foul, and the team's 10th foul. And that will send Taryn Nobles on the free throw line. Lakeview at 10 fouls, and Snyder with 7 fouls. As for Nobles, she hits her first shot. She has 8 points tonight. 31-28 is our score. And now Nobles leads all Snyder players with 8 points off the bench. Her second shot rolls from the rim. And now there's a tie-up underneath the basket. And the possession arrow will favor Lakeview. As for Lakeview, now only up by 3 as they had a 10-point advantage in the third quarter. And traveling is called against Harris for Lakeview, so that's another turnover for the Maidens as we get into crunch time here in this fourth quarter with 2 minutes and 46 seconds to play. Our score, it's the Maidens 31 and Snyder 28. As for Snyder with the basketball, a chance to tie it. Here's a triple try, and that is good. That's a 3-ball for Taryn Nobles, and she has just tied the game. And she has a team high of 11 points. And now is a pass. Now it's Cappuccino to the front court. Tied game at 31. Cuts inside, misses the layup. That was a scoop layup attempt. And the ball goes out of play at the Lakeview bench. So it's now Lakeview basketball. Tied game at 31 as Snyder, they're able to come from behind after being down by 10 in the third quarter with the full court press on defense. They're able to force several errors by Lakeview against the guards, and they're able to tie the game as Nobles with a 3-pointer moment to go. Lakeview with the basketball. There's a triple try by the Maidens by Amber Garvey. Offensive rebound. Now they put back at the rebound by Harris goes in. Inside the paint, and Harris now with 7 points. 33-31. 2 minutes, 10 seconds and counting in this fourth quarter. A very exciting game here from the Ben Norton Gymnasium. Now cutting inside is Benitez, and Benitez puts it up and in. Benitez now on the night. She has 7 points, and we're tied again at 33. Cappuccino in the backcourt. Sends it ahead to Amber Garvey. Garvey drives the right baseline, and Garvey puts it up and in. Garvey with a penetrating move off the right baseline. She has 5 points. 35-33 Lakeview as we have 1:36 to play in the fourth quarter. Now driving inside the lane is Taryn Nobles, and the foul will be called on Lakeview. And that stops the clock with 93 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And that will send Taryn Nobles to the right free throw line. And Cappuccino's called with the foul. That is her second. As Taryn Nobles has come out strong in this second half with a team high of 11 points off the bench. And her first shot is the back of the iron and drops out. Our score, it's Lakeview 35 and Snyder 33 with 93 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And let's keep it here. A very exciting game here in this District 3-4A matchup between the Maidens, who are 0-9 in the district, and Snyder, they are 5-4, both for the Maidens. This is a team that has lost 11 consecutive games, only 2-11 at home, but have averaged 34 points per game, and they have scored 35 points tonight, leading by a field goal at 35-33. And let's give you tonight's numbers so far, as Cappuccino and Pinata each with 9 points for Lakeview. Harris with 7 points, and Valaro off the bench with 3, Garvey with 5, and Wagner with a field goal. Meanwhile, for Snyder, it is Taryn Nobles off the bench with a game high of 11 points. Benitez with 7, Brazil with 5, Melanie Martinez with a field goal, Gropey and also Lura each with field goals for the Snyder Lady Tigers. So you have to give Snyder some credit tonight. Being down by 10 points in the late stages of the third quarter, they elect to go with the full court press against the Lakeview guards. As a result, Lakeview committed several turnovers and some key shots by Taryn Nobles. As for Snyder, they're able to get back into this game. Here's Nobles on the free throw line. His shot hits the back iron, and the rebounds wrestled down by Michaela Wagner as we have under 90 seconds to play. And the ball goes out of play. Last touch there by Melanie Martinez with 1:26 left in the fourth quarter. As Michaela Wagner will now inbound the basketball for Lakeview. Her team up by 2. Over to Cappuccino at the wing. launches a three ball from the left side, and there is a foul called on the play on that three ball attempt, as Taryn Nobles is called with the foul. And for Nobles, that is her second foul of the game, and that will send Cappuccino. She will be at the Lana and Tiffany Realtor free throw line. Cappuccino with 9 points. Her first shot is in. As for Lakeview, they now have increased their lead to 3 points at 36-33. Cappuccino now leads all Lakeview players in scoring. Her second shot rattles the rim, as Cappuccino will take 3 shots from the line. She is now 1 out of 2 from the Lana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line. The team leader all season. Her third shot is no good, hits the back iron, and Snyder comes down with the rebound. 36-33, Cappuccino 1 out of 3 from the free throw line. Now back up top is Martinez. Drives the right baseline as Robles now. Now she misses the shot. Nobles misses that. And a rebound underneath the basket by Harris. There's a tie-up. And the possession arrow appears to favor Lakeview. Rather, will favor Snyder. So Snyder basketball with 64 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 36-33 is our score. There's Nobles cutting inside, misses the layup. The ball's loose inside the lane. Wrestling for the basketball there is Pinata, and gives to Wagner. Now up court to Garvey with 50 seconds left. Garvey drives the baseline, and she gets fouled at the left baseline. So a great move there by Amber Garvey. Drives the left baseline for the Maidens, and she gets fouled with 47.4 seconds left. And Garvey is now at the Lana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line with 47.4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. As Garvey with 5 points today for Lakeview, and the foul's caught on Brazil, and for Brazil, that is her third. Garvey on the free throw line, eyes the basket, and her shot rattles the rim, and the whistle blows before the shot. It appears that Garvey may have stepped over the line. And now with Lakeview on top by 3 points, searching for their first win in the district, 0-9 in district play this season. As Garvey misses the shot from the line, Cappuccino at the rebound, and Cappuccino gets fouled. So Cappuccino with the rebound and gets fouled with 45.6 seconds left, and Cappuccino will go back to the Lana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line. As the foul will be called on Abby Benitez, and for Benitez, that will be her 5th foul of the game. And for Benitez, she would foul out with 7 points. If that's the case, with 45.6 seconds left in the fourth quarter. As for Lakeview with a 3-point lead, so Benitez does foul out, and she'll be replaced by Amy Martinez. So Amy Martinez comes into the game, replaces Benitez. So Benitez fouls out with 7 points for Snyder. Here is Cappuccino. Her shot rattles the rim, rolls out, no good. So Cappuccino's back on the Lana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line. In the last moments, Cappuccino 1 out of 4 from the line. Her second shot is no good. Hits the front rim. 1 out of 5 from the line by Cappuccino. Now here's Snyder into the front court, down by 3. Here's Brazil, drives inside the lane, and Brazil gets fouled. And that stops the clock with 37.9 seconds. So it appears that Snyder will call a timeout, and yes, they do. It's a full timeout with 37.9 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Our score, it is Lakeview 36 and Snyder 33. We'll pause for a quick break. This is Lakeview Maidens Basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
We all want to get back to the way things used to be. Going to concerts, cheering for our teams in a packed stadium, dancing the night away with our friends. But if we truly want things to go back to the way they were, we need everyone to come together. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and social distance. Together, we can beat this. Together, we'll get back to the way things used to be.
Welcome back to Lakeview Maidens Basketball On Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union, we have 37.9 ticks left in this fourth quarter of play. Our score, it's a tight one, as the Maidens leading by 3, 36-33 over Snyder. Lakeview had a 10-point lead in the third quarter, but for Lakeview, they had several situations, turnovers, and also missed shots from the line, as star player Elisa Cappuccino, 1 out of 5 in the last moments of this fourth quarter. So for Snyder, they'll inbound the basketball. Davis will inbound for Snyder with her team trailing by 3, 36-33. Here's a long three-ball attempt there by Nobles. Hits the back iron. Offensive rebound by Davis. Davis with the scoop layup puts it up and in. Davis now with 6 points. Quick timeout by Snyder. Now we have 29.3 seconds left. It is now Lakeview 36 and Snyder 35. So for Lakeview, they have to talk about this full court press that they will have to endure here in the final moments, as Elisa Cappuccino from the free throw line, 1 out of 5 in the last moments of this fourth quarter. So perhaps for Lakeview, if once they get the ball, they probably maybe get fouled and maybe go to the free throw line. So they probably need someone to come up big here. As for Lakeview, 0-9 in district play, 8-14 overall in the regular season. As for the Snyder Lady Tigers, they are 5-4, third place in the District 3-4A standings entering tonight's action. Well-played game here from the Ben Norton Gymnasium. As for Lakeview, Harris will inbound underneath the basket with 29.3 ticks left in the fourth. Gives to Michaela Wagner, the junior. Wagner now in their backcourt. Now pass is tipped, and now is a reach-in foul. And a foul will be called on Melanie Martinez in this fourth quarter. So Martinez with the foul, and that is her second foul. And that stops the clock with 22.2 seconds left in this fourth quarter. As for Lakeview, Felicity Harris will go to the Lana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line. Harris on the night has 7 points. She has played well. Cappuccino with 10, Pinata with 9, and Harris now with 7. Harris, her shot hits the front iron. And this is a situation for Lakeview. They have to make their free throws here. Harris on the Lana and Tiffany Realtor team free throw line with 7 points on the night. Her second shot's in the air, hits the back iron, and the rebound's brought down by Nobles. Here comes Nobles quickly to the front court. And there is a reach-in foul called against Michaela Wagner. And for Wagner, we'll see. I think she has 5 fouls. Yes, Michaela Wagner has 5 fouls, and she has fouled out with 2 points. So that is a big blow for Lakeview. Michaela Wagner has played very strong tonight with 2 points, but she has fouled out. So Benitez has fouled out for Snyder and Wagner for Lakeview. Nobles is on the free throw line, and their shot is short. Hits the left side of the rim, and the score is still 36-35 with 17.2 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Nobles on the line, her shot is up and in. Nobles now with a game high of 12 points. We're tied at 36. Here now is Harris into the front court for Lakeview with 12 seconds left. The Cappuccino, and that appears to be a timeout. Yes, it's a timeout is called on Lakeview. So with 9.2 seconds left in the fourth quarter, we'll keep it here. Tied game at 36. Boy, what a game here tonight. As for Lakeview, they have scored 10 points in this fourth quarter, as Cappuccino has come out strong with 10 points in the second half. Pinata with 9, and Harris with 7. So you probably would figure that either one of those 3 players will get the ball here in the final moments. As for Lakeview, they have been ice cold from the free throw line in this fourth quarter, which would have been the difference in the latter part of this game. As for the Maidens, led by head coach Tracy Dawson, looking to snap their 11-game losing skid. They have 14 losses on the season, 8-14 on the season. So they have not won a game in this new year of 2021, as they are 2-11 at the Ben Norton Gymnasium. Meanwhile for Snyder, They are 5-2 in their last 7 games, 5-7 on the road. They defeated Sweetwater on Tuesday, 55-37, but a tight one here. We're even at 36, 9.2 seconds left in the fourth quarter. We'll see who will try to be the hero here for Lakeview tonight. There's Cappuccino with the inbound, the senior. Bounce pass to Pinata, draws the double team with 7 seconds left. Back to Cappuccino. Now it's intercepted by Brazil. Brazil with 2 seconds left, and she gets fouled as the clock runs to 0. And boy, oh boy, after the turnover and the foul will be called against Lakeview. No time on the clock as Taryn Nobles, and now that will be Brazil on the free throw line. So Brazil with a chance to win the game here with no time on the clock. As for Lakeview, they had a chance for a game-winning shot, but another turnover by the Maidens, which has been one of their major problems this season. So here's Brazil on the right free throw line. She has 5 points on the night, and she hits the shot, and she now has 6 points. And now for Snyder, they now lead 37-36, and that appears that it's the game. And the game is over as Brazil with a game-winning free throw shot as time expires. As Snyder, they come from behind, down by 10, and they defeat Lakeview by a final score of 37-36. My goodness, Snyder, they score 17 points in the fourth quarter to come from behind to defeat the Lakeview Maidens, and for Lakeview, their final game of the regular season, as Snyder wins it in dramatic fashion. And the story in that fourth quarter, the missed free throw shots by the Maidens and also turnovers in the backcourt. So the guards had difficulty against that full court press by Snyder, which results in, for Snyder, overcoming a 10-point deficit for the Lady Tigers with a huge road win as they improve to 6-4 in the regular season in district play and 14-12 overall on the year. Meanwhile, for Lakeview, what a tough loss for the Lakeview Maidens in their final game of the season as they drop to 8-15 and 0-10 in district play as Brazil hits the, my goodness, the game-winning shot. And for Snyder, they win here by a final score of 37-36. So we'll pause for a quick break, and then we'll come back with our post-game show. This is Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union.
Football fans, stop by Wingstop in Southwest Plaza before or after the game. We have the best wings in town and offer curbside pickup and delivery. So stop by Friday night and celebrate with Wingstop on Knickerbocker Road.
Best Tech Supply is a proud sponsor of Concho Valley football. I invite you to stop by our new location at 4512 Adobe Drive for all your herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer, and outdoor power equipment needs. Bestex also carries a large selection of Green Mountain grills and K2 coolers for all your tailgating events. For knowledgeable advice of your lawn and landscaping, as well as service of your outdoor power equipment long after the sale, call us here at Bestex, 653-1300.
For a healthy lawn and landscape, visit Best Tech Supply or besttech.com.
Angelo RO Express is San Angelo's local affordable drinking water choice. Water plays a vital role in our daily life, and having the best drinking water for your family is important. Rent a quality reverse osmosis system starting at $28.50 a month with a free local standard installation. So why overpay for something you can get right here for less?
Call my Uncle Larry.
You heard the girl. Call Angelo RO Express at 325-277-8611 for affordable drinking water.
Welcome back to Lakeview Maidens basketball on Concho Sports Network, presented by First Community Federal Credit Union. A very disappointing loss for the Lakeview Maidens in their final game of the basketball season as they lose a heartbreaker to Snyder by a final count of 37-36. As for the Maidens, with the disappointing loss, they dropped to 0-10 in district play this season and 8-15 in the regular year. Meanwhile, for Snyder, with the huge road win at the Ben Norton Gymnasium, as for Snyder, they improved to 6-4 in district play and 14-12 on the season, and they improved to 6-7 on the road. And they have now, for Snyder, just unbelievable performance here tonight as they trailed at one point by 10 points in the third quarter, but two key facets of that fourth quarter. The full court press by the Snyder defense against the Lakeview guards, which resulted in turnovers, and also the missed free throw shots from the line as Elisa Cappuccino, she was 1 out of 5 from the free throw line down the stretch. Lakeview had a chance to win the game. They had the ball with 10 seconds left, but Elisa Cappuccino's errant pass was tipped and intercepted by Nobles, and then she gave it to Brazil, and Brazil was fouled, cutting inside the lane, and Brazil hits the game-winning shot as time expired. There's actually zeros on the clock when she got fouled, but Brazil's game-winning shot from the right free throw line iced it and won the game for Snyder as they win big, 37-36. As for Lakeview, they scored 8 points in the first quarter. Had a great start, though. 8 points in the first quarter, only 2 in the second, 16 in the third, and 10 in the fourth to equal 36 points. While for Snyder, they scored 3 points in the first, 8 in the second, 9 in the third, and a huge 17 points in the fourth quarter. And that was the difference. As for Snyder, they win by 1 point tonight, 37-36. Let's give you tonight's individual numbers as Elisa Cappuccino in their final game had a team high of 10 points. She scored all 10 of those points in the second half tonight. Pinata with a strong performance for Lakeview. She scored 9 points. Harris with 7 points, as Garvey with 5 off the bench, Valaro with 3 off the bench, and Wagner with a field goal, but she fouled out in tonight's game. Meanwhile, for Snyder, it was Nobles off the bench with a strong performance with a game high of 12 points tonight for Snyder, as Benitez had 7, Davis with 6, and Brazil with 6, but the big one was her game-winning free throw shot to win the game for Snyder here on the road as Snyder wins 37-36. So the good news for Lakeview is that they played hard tonight, especially in that first quarter and also in the third quarter when Lakeview led by 10 points. But the bad news was the excessive amount of turnovers in the game and also the free throw shooting, which really hurt Lakeview down the stretch. As for Lakeview and head coach Tracy Dawson, they finished the regular season with a 12-game losing streak as they lose at home by a final score of 37-36. And for Lakeview, they finished with a mark of 2-12 this season at the Ben Norton Gymnasium. Well, for Lakeview, that's the end of their regular season as they'll move on into their spring sports, and we'll have all that stuff for you on Concho Sports. But we are live streaming Central and Lakeview basketball every Tuesday and Friday. Our next game is next Tuesday as we'll stream the Central Bobcats boys against Friendship Tigers. Tip-off is scheduled for 6:30 p.m. right here on ConchoSports.com, the Concho Sports Network, Roku, and Fire TV apps, YouTube, and Facebook. We would also like to thank the entire staff at Lakeview High School for all of their hospitality and help with the assistance of tonight's broadcast and also throughout this entire regular season. So once again, our final score from the Ben Norton Gymnasium as the Maidens, they lose a heartbreaker against Snyder. The final score at Snyder 37 and Lakeview 36 here on senior night. We'd also like to thank our producer and director, Shay Harris, with all of his help in tonight's broadcast. This is Dr. Herman Howard broadcasting live from Lakeview High School. Our final score once again, it's Snyder 37 and Lakeview 36. Thank you so much for watching and have a great weekend, my friends. Well done, Jacob. Good job, sir.